everything that they have done. And they're now trying to whittle it down to, oh, it's a little fallout between brothers. Prince William's the big brother. He should be the bigger man. They should shake hands and hug. No, they shouldn't. They should keep all dog bowls well away from Harry. I don't think anybody would really criticise Prince William if he saw Harry and thumped him one in the face.
Finally, confirmation that Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, will never forgive Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, will not give in to this growing pressure coming on the heir to the throne that they should in some way go for a reconciliation just in order to appease what? The mainstream media? No. It must not happen. And we're going to get into the details today of this extraordinary summit taking place at Balmoral Castle between King Charles, Prince William, other senior members of the royal family, including Edward and Anne and even the Tyndalls, with royal YouTube sensation, according to Taz. But Tash, I want to show you first how the mainstream media are putting what I believe is completely unfair pressure on Prince William to change his stance. And I think William's stance, by the way, is the only responsible stance. That's my view. I'm very unhappy with King Charles's stance. But look at this, for example, from People magazine, leaked directly, of course, by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And the headline is, Prince Harry's UK move is the best opportunity to heal the rift with Prince William, exclusive source. Well, we know who the exclusive source is. Okay, so we know this is Harry and Meghan using People magazine directly to try and apply pressure to change William's view. And this is coming all over the mainstream media, but I just thought it was one of the most egregious examples. So People writes, the move comes as Harry appears to be making progress in rebuilding his relationship with his father, King Charles, following the family's long-awaited private reunion last month. While Harry's relationship with his older brother, Prince William, remains deeply strained, a source tells People that having Harry back in Britain presents the best opportunity for the brothers to reconcile. It would never happen with him in America, the source says. This gives them the opportunity to try and mend the bridge. The source speculates that Meghan may keep a relatively low profile as the family settles back into life in Britain. Over time, however, the source believes the public will want to see them both. I think they should tread a little carefully, and I think they will, the source adds. So, of course, you can completely understand why William has been stressed and very unhappy about this, which is why we have seen, totally, and for good reason. And so what we have seen happen, Tash, is stronger briefing now out of Buckingham Palace, because of course William is with the King in Balmoral this week. And of course, this was pre-planned. It's not like the Sandringham summit, which was arranged specifically to deal with Harry. They were
they're on holiday. This is their family get-together that they do every single year, and this is why Harry and Meghan timed it when they did.
Of course, because they knew that it would pile the pressure on for there to
damage.
be. Yeah, exactly. And it has, of course, destroyed the holiday. Of course it has, because there's now so much focus. But what I guess I've been pleased to see, Tash, is Buckingham Palace toughen its briefing overnight. Okay, so this was probably the most dramatic headline. King Charles makes clear Prince Harry will not be his priority. Now, this is to the Times newspaper, Tash, the newspaper of record, so it clearly has been officially briefed. And their assistant editor wrote, the King has made it clear that the Prince of Wales and the future of the royal family remain his priority after the Duke of Sussex announced his return to the UK. Charles was said to be naturally pleased with the opportunity to see more of his family in a private and personal capacity. However, it is understood the King, who was with William when the news broke, has insisted privately that the work of the institution will not change. Then you get to the briefing, Tash, which has come from William's side. And again, I was so happy to see this. So front page of the Daily Mirror, that's when Russell Myers, and you know Russell Myers, he is probably the closest member of the royal rota to William and Catherine. He's more loyal to William and Catherine than he is to King Charles.
You listen to what he has to say, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he was basically saying, and I was very relieved about this because it's obviously backing up my reporting for some time, that they are not going to forgive. They are not going to forgive. It's a really big stance. And then we have this too from Matt Wilkinson, who is the royal editor of The Sun. And again, you know I like to explain the background, Tash. The Sun also has a close relationship with William and Catherine. Its editor, Victoria Newton, has become close with Prince William over the past few years. So again, my belief is this is direct briefing from William and Catherine. And they say they plan to rise above it and not be distracted by the Sussexes sideshow. Their plan, Tash, is to keep calm and carry on amid fears that Harry and Meghan's return to the UK could make a mockery of royal roles. And oh my God, I'm so glad William and Catherine feel that, because that's exactly what I feel, by the way. I feel Harry and Meghan are just making a mockery of this whole thing. And he reports, and this is interesting because, again, this will all be officially brief. The Prince and Princess of Wales have arrived in Balmoral following the King's arrival there on Tuesday, just 2 days after Harry first told his father the news. While William and Kate were stunned at the news, bless them. I mean, imagine their shock. I mean, I was shocked enough. Imagine their shock. I understand the couple plan to rise above it and not let the Sussex drama derail their commitment to service and duty. Sources tell me that all the Walesers have been through with Kate's cancer diagnosis over the past few years has put everything in perspective. Wilkinson says, I will not be at all surprised if the Walesers saw this as a chance for their children, George, Charlotte and Louis, to finally build a relationship with their Sussex cousins. William is big enough and mature enough to not want his nephew and niece to be affected by his fallout with their father. But Tash, your take on this is a little bit different. You write, I think Prince William is now indifferent to Harry. I think he's probably gone through the whole process of hurt, pain, anger, betrayal and grief. I think Harry didn't just damage their bond. I think he severed it, and I don't see any coming back from it. And I don't blame William at all. So Tash, there's a huge amount to unpick here. But firstly, can I just say, I really think William and Catherine need to be careful about the children building a relationship with George and Charlotte, because you know Harry and Meghan plan to use those two children as pawns in this return.
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't trust them. Of course you wouldn't trust them. And anybody that expects Catherine and William, this push that we're seeing, I've been seeing it myself. It's the way it's all being written, that this is all down to Prince William. The king doesn't know what to do about the fallout between his two sons. I'm sorry, the last 6 years hasn't happened. The world hasn't turned against Harry and Meghan because Prince William and Harry had a little scuffle over their wives and Harry ended up in a dog bowl. But again, this is the media trying to spin it and to downplay it, and Sussex propaganda, downplaying everything that Harry and Meghan have done, all of the allegations, all of the lies, all of the terrible things that they inflicted on Queen Elizabeth in her final years, even when she was grieving the loss of her husband, Prince Philip. Everything that they have done, and they're now trying to whittle it down to, oh, it's a little fallout between brothers. Prince William's the big brother. He should be the bigger man. They should shake hands and hug. No, they shouldn't. They should keep all dog bowls well away from Harry. I don't think anybody would really criticise Prince William if he saw Harry and thumped him one in the face, to be honest with you, after everything he's done. The children are going to be used. We're seeing Harry and Meghan use the children. They already use them to link up anything to do with Diana. We see the children being used for Meghan to even get traffic over to her As Ever products, to flog her jam, to whatever it is that she's selling. You know, you're seeing the little girl's clothes sometimes come up when Meghan decided to, flog clothes. It's very obvious that Meghan sees the children as a commodity. And this is the very reason why they took the titles very quickly for the children. This is why they had already bought out the website names for those children before they'd even asked the Queen, can we take this name from you? Which obviously, there was a big brouhaha over all of that. There always is with them. Everything that Harry and Meghan do, every decision that they do is always sprung out of thin air. It's done for maximum impact and maximum damage. But as for Prince William, I don't think we even need to have the conversation about how dangerous Harry and Meghan potentially are. They will use the children. Of course, when they come here, they will be turning up to charities, to hospitals, because charities will still take them on, Dan. This is the problem. It's all well and good, even the king saying at this stage, oh, do you know what? We're just letting you know that they're not half in and half out. It doesn't matter what you say. They're still on the royal family website beneath the working royals. Harry is still a councillor of state. We saw in Australia, in Nigeria, in Colombia, in Jordan. They are using the royal family blueprint for visits. And they are going to continue turning up there. They're not going to be turned away from places. Of course they're not, because everybody will still want the publicity that Harry and Meghan unfortunately do take with them everywhere. They are going to clash with Catherine and William, who are, however, serving the country. Harry and Meghan are serving themselves and topping up their bank accounts. But it's going to be a very, very bad few months, I would say, because Harry has no intentions of stopping his feud with his brother, as the headlines show. They want everybody to think that this would all be hunky-dory, everything would all be forgiven if Prince William just be the bigger man. And it's obviously just gaslighting.
It's total gaslighting. But Tash, we're also seeing the Sussex squad in the mainstream media, and there's not many of them left, but they are using the most despicable techniques, Tash, because clearly, no one can deny the reporting that people like I have been doing now for a very long time about just how unhappy Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage has been. I mean, seriously, just look at the facts. If they were happy, they wouldn't be living their dream life, would they? So,
no, of course.
I find that really frustrating, the first thing. But now you have people who are Sussex squatters, and as I say, there's not many of them, but they still get these perches all over the mainstream media because the mainstream media are ignoring the polling, Tash, which actually shows 79% of us here in the United Kingdom do not want Harry and Meghan to return. Only 21% of people do. I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close. And I see them, Tash, when they're out on the streets and they're doing Vox Pops. I've been watching the coverage, and they always find a couple of people who are pro it, and then they'll put one person in, and it's no, you've had to go and literally interview all of these people in order to find that one supporter. But anyway, the worst example of this, Tash, was Nina Mishkov, who went on my former channel, GB News, and not only lied and said that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage isn't a great place, but then went one step further, and this is what's so disgraceful about the Sussex squad. There's never a low that they won't hit. and pushed a new lie that there is a problem in Prince William and Catherine's marriage. Now, at that point, you will hear the GB News Royal reporter Cameron Walker step in and watch.
You can see that they're in love. You can see them. You can just see by the body language when you see them together. They are still a couple in love. You look at Kate and William, it's a different story.
They are very much in love, the Prince and Princess of Wales. I can confirm.
It's just disgusting. Their techniques are disgusting.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you can watch an episode of Suits and see Meghan look more in love with her pretend husband than what she does with Harry majority of the time. What a vile thing to say. If you're there to big up Harry and Meghan, which she obviously was, and she was quite happy talking about that, why feel the need to stoop to that level to go, yes, but William and Catherine aren't in love? It just shows a level of maturity as well, doesn't it? It's just vindictive schoolgirl playground bullying, but this is what the Sussex squads are like. But they are very upset at the moment because they're desperately scrambling over themselves. I found it quite entertaining, trying to justify Harry and Meghan's suddenly return to salty UK. And you are also seeing a shift, I would say, in the trend where they don't seem to be supporting Harry as much. You've already got them lining up saying, I can't believe Harry's doing this to Meghan. She's obviously given everything up for him yet again, and really pushing that narrative, which again makes me think there's a little bit of fuel on that fire of the separation, because it's clearly obvious once anything ever happens between Harry and Meghan, the Sussex squad are hers. And
of course. And Tash, they're not admitting what is really going on, because, hello, this means Harry would not lose full custody of the children in any form of separation where he moved back. It is so obvious. And it's like, don't kid yourselves. Vanity Fair backed up reporting that people like me had done, that Meghan Markle was hawking a post-divorce book. Of course, that was always going to ring alarm bells for Prince Harry, even if he is trying to make the marriage work. But the problem that I have, Tash, is there's going to be so many of these ludicrous games played. So we now have... relentless. Yeah, because we now have Harry and Meghan writing to every single national newspaper editor in the United Kingdom saying, no, we're not going to show the children. We're not going to show the children, and you better not show the children. And briefing to Victoria Ward in the Daily Telegraph today that there will be no reveal of the children's faces, despite the fact that we've seen most of them throughout the Instagram posts. So we're back in this situation, Tash, where it's like, you now want to return the children to the United Kingdom, where they remain in the line of succession, they remain on the royal website, they keep a prince and princess title, but you're going to take the piss out of us, the citizens of the UK, who will be paying for their security by not showing their faces. Like, are you insane? So Lawrence Fox responding to this saying, the Sussexes are the epitome of everything that is wrong with modern Western culture. Talentless, entitled, narcissistic attention seekers. I look forward to Meghan Markle tanking whatever show someone is silly enough to hire her to do the acting in. And Tash, he is totally right on this, because the cheek to say, we're going to move here, we want you to be paying British taxpayers the £5 million a year in security costs, and we're still going to continue the farce of not showing the children's faces, even though they constantly keep posting the children on... So, like, I just feel like I'm going mad, and we're going to have to keep dealing with this bullshit, Tash.
It's going to be worse. It is going to be worse, like I said, because, you know, I do see people saying, oh, the king must stop them. The king must stop them. William must stop them. Stop them from doing what? If these charities and organisations turn around and go, well, we can't get the real royals, so we might as well get the budget ones, it will still bring them publicity. Okay, yes, Meghan and Harry do court a lot of negative publicity, but it's still publicity nonetheless, and the mainstream media will lap it up as well, and they will be reporting on it. So you're going to have Harry and Meghan, who were doing this in America stateside, now doing it. You're not going to have the difference between it being American charities that us in the UK and Europe haven't heard of, and these little ones that they're scraping around, you know, that are political left-wing organisations. They'll probably turn up at some of the royal hospitals. Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if Harry and Meghan do their very own remembrance weekend. They'll rock up at the exact same time, Harry wearing his medals, laying a wreath, as you have Catherine and Prince William honouring the fallen at the cenotaph. This is going to be relentless, what Harry and Meghan are going to do, because even when you read the stories where they're saying, oh no, they're going to behave, Harry's assured the king he's going to stop talking about private family matters. It's only about the king, not even mentioning of Queen Camilla. They've still not said they're sorry. They've still not apologised for anything that they have done. And they are pushing this agenda that the reason why Harry and Meghan are so disliked is because of Catherine and William. It is going to be relentless, but that's where I hope that... Well, I don't hope. I think I can speak with some confidence here that I don't think Harry and Meghan are going to get anywhere near the amount of support that they had before, because people see them for the schemers, for the grifters, for what they are capable of. And people are going to not just give them side eye, people are going to want to step round them. They are a toxic mess. And I think if you are a charity and an organisation in the UK hoping for donations, then you should still try and get yourself a Z-list celebrity and not pick those two, because they will bring their toxicity with them. And then they will be deliberately trying to rival Catherine and Prince William. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting few months, Dan. That's all I'm going to say. I've got no idea which way this is going to unravel. The only thing I am certain of, it will be maximum drama, maximum attention seeking every single day.
Oh, of course, because we see the Sussex squad going mad and doing disgusting things. Like, look at Narinder Kaur, who's one of the leaders in the UK. Today, she has said, Tash, the hate towards Meghan Sussex, she's virtually the only person who uses Meghan Sussex, needs to be criminalised. What happened to Jason Arday, referring to the fantasist former Cambridge professor who took his own life tragically, should never be allowed to happen again. I mean, that is sick. But you do have other members of the Sussex squad that are struggling a little bit. I mean, you pointed this out, Tash. So one of them said, as far as I'm concerned, any battering Harry is about to receive is deserved, because what the F is this? And you wrote, even their own fan base are confused and angry by this sudden dramatic announcement. And you could see this, actually. You could see this in some of the online Sussex squad nutters. Take a look.
People magazine dropped the exclusive, and suddenly every fucking news outlet is running with it. But my first question is, exclusive from who? Because as of right now, I have not seen Prince Harry, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, or an identified Sussex spokesperson announce that this family is moving back to Britain. Yes, other news outlets are reporting it, fine. I still don't believe it. History has shown us that when Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, make major moves involving their family, they generally keep their cards extremely close to their chest. So something this enormous leaks, moving countries, Archie and Lilibet's schooling, their home, their security. That already has my eyebrows raised. But here's what really doesn't sit with me. According to People's own reporting, King Charles was only made aware of these plans on Sunday. You're telling me Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, are supposedly preparing to relocate the King's grandchildren to Britain, potentially enrolling them in school there, and the King only found out about it days ago? I find that very difficult to believe.
This has always been the goal. This has been what they have been working towards since 2020, since they were kicked out. They have been trying to find a way to prove that half in, half out can work, that they can be an asset and a part of the monarchy in some way. However, the way this was announced feels a lot like how this was announced. And we all know what happened there. They weren't accommodated. And then we have the lead up to that visit. Harry and Meghan and both the kids, they're all going to be at the event, and we're going to finally get pictures of the kids, and isn't that amazing? We deserve to see them, and they're finally going to give it to us. Actually, it's just going to be Harry and Meghan at the Invictus event. The kids, they're coming, but they're going to meet their grandfather in private, and we won't get to see them, and how cute and great that is for them, and how terrible it is for us, because we deserve to see the kids. How dare they? Oops, no, we were a little nuts about how she was going to be here, so it's just Harry going to the event. I started to feel like Harry and Meghan were sending out test balloons, that they were checking the temperature.
Tash, I can't. What is it about the Sussex squad? They're all such weird people, aren't they?
They are odd. I've had my own personal run-ins. I've had my life nearly turned upside down by these people. They're either obsessive little psychopaths, or they just seem like that they should be in therapy, really. I mean, there are genuine fans of Harry and Meghan, although that is obviously small, dwindling. I mean, Narinder, I think she's just nothing but a race baiter. She rage baits people as well. Any subject that she knows that will trigger people, she's straight on it and in there. But yeah, I mean, they are a strange bunch of people, because I mean, I've seen other fan bases before. I mean, you've got obviously Beyonce's fan base, and you've got Taylor Swift, and even the Ariana Grande. You do have this cult following style of people, but I've never known as people as nasty and as really obsessive as the Sussex squad. It is a really interesting mix of people.
Yeah, and also, Tash, the ones who come into the mainstream media, though, too, are so tethered to provable lies, right? So I'm going to show you an example. Now, this guy, a lot of people outside of the United Kingdom will never have heard of this guy, and you're very lucky if you haven't heard of him. But he's a very influential broadcaster, sadly, in the UK. He's called James O'Brien. He hosts one of the main talk radio shows in this country. He is a Harry and Meghan obsessive. And do you know what was so intellectually dishonest and deluded about his defense of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle this week, Tash, is that he still had to go back to the so-called disparity in the bump coverage. And it's like, come on, have we not learned now by now? Well, exactly. And also it's like, there was very good journalistic reason, by the way, for us to be asking questions at that time about Meghan Markle's bump. Like, it wasn't just out of the blue. But anyway, I'm going to show you, Tash, what he had to say about the return, because it is nuts. He's a Sussex squatter. He's obsessed with Prince Harry, and he is also nuts.
Okay.
What have they actually done wrong? If you are, either paying attention to the plight of this couple, or you are familiar with the things I routinely point out on the frankly quite rare occasions that we turn our attention to them, you'll know that a little later in this programme I'll share with you a direct comparison between two members of the royal family, Meghan and Kate, two sisters-in-law, behaving in almost identical conduct. I mean, I still, when I look at it, I dig it out, don't I, every couple of years. And every time I look at it, I think that can't be right. That can't
exactly
be right.
They're
two individuals, members of the same, two people who have married, two women who have married into the same family, engaging in identical or similar behaviour and prompting responses that are absolutely polar opposite. I'll just give you one example, because you're not quite sure what I'm talking about. Here is a story from the Daily Mail about Kate, about the now Princess of Wales. Not long to go, pregnant Kate tenderly cradles her baby bump while wrapping up her royal duties ahead of maternity leave. And William confirms she's due any minute now. Is that lovely? Treacly voice. She's due any minute now. That's a lovely story. Pregnant Kate tenderly cradles her baby bump. OK. Fast forward less than a year to the pregnancy of her sister-in-law, Meghan Markle, as was, and the same organ reports on the same story, a woman touching her pregnancy bump, under the rather different headline, "Why can't Meghan Markle keep her hands off her bump? Experts tackle the question that has got the nation talking. Is it pride, vanity, acting, or a new age bonding technique?" Now, look me in the eye and tell me this country's not nuts.
It's all he's got. It's all he's got.
It was obsessive, though. It was obsessive. She was flat as a board when she went to Australia in that white dress, to the point people were even shocked that she announced her pregnancy at Eugenie's wedding. And Meghan was clutching air the whole time. She was even like kicking her back out. There wasn't a bump there. She barely even looked like she'd eaten a burger. And it was continuous every single day, whereas Catherine was holding her bump. She was a few weeks away. But do you know what, Dan, to be honest with you, the whole pregnancy, moon bump, all of that story, that's a whole separate video. I mean, we could go on with that one, but it is ridiculous. That's all he's got.
Totally.
That's all he can go back
the point.
to.
That is the point. It's like,
Yeah,
that is all you've got.
nothing-
And it's like,
yeah.
since then, James, you know, you do realise,
Years have passed.
but also since then, you know, she did make false accusations of racism against the British royal family. She did make the late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip's final days on this planet far, far more difficult, and may well have actually sped up their deaths. They did cause a huge amount of stress to King Charles before his cancer diagnosis, and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, before her cancer diagnosis, something that both William and Queen Camilla and Prince William linked directly to that cancer diagnosis. I'm like, and you're going back to the coverage of the bump. And as you say, Tash, actually, it was obsessive. And I think she was doing it for a reason. But oh my God, Tash, we're going to have to emotionally support each other through the next few weeks, because it's going to be unbearable, but at least we are able to burst the bubble. And this is why people must subscribe to According to Taz, who made an emergency video outside, Tash, because you were on your holidays, but you know, you're committed to the call.
I was so distressed, Dan, to wake up first thing in the morning. I hadn't even had my cup of tea, and I roll out of bed, and the first thing I see was you had done an exclusive at 10:45. I had missed text messages, and then I was like, no. But yeah, definitely. We're going to need a lot of caffeine, Dan. We're going to need a lot of caffeine, but we will get through it.
Yep, and we will keep them honest. We will keep them all honest, and we will keep calling them out. So do make sure you subscribe to the brilliant According to Taz on YouTube, and also on X, of course, where you get a lot of her hot takes. But thank you so much, Tash, and thank you for your company all week long.
This video is for news reporting, commentary, and educational purposes. The views expressed are based on publicly available information and personal analysis. We strive for accuracy but encourage viewers to verify information through official sources.